I learned how to animate in After Effects in just 3 days by watching YouTube tutorials. And in this video, I'm going to help you become a better animator as well, by showing you exactly how you can edit like Iman Gadzhi, and specifically how you can make this animation that he used in After Effects. Also, if there are any content creators watching, check out the top link in the description. My website may have something of interest to you. Right, so the first thing you want to do is create a new composition. It doesn't really matter what you name it, I'm just going to name it Iman Animation. Then I'm going to import the assets or things I'm going to use. I'm going to scale down the ChatGPT logo, and I'll just scale it a bit more just because I don't want it to be big. And then I'm just going to increase the scale of the blue screen. The blue screen is only really there to make the grid look darker. And I'm going to change that to the overlay. And then, yeah, there you can see it's basically just not as light as it was before. Yeah, you can really do this by decreasing the opacity, and it's about 35 now. Then we're going to add a vignette to the blue screen, and we're going to play with the center like point where like the center of lightness is coming from, and everywhere else around this is going to be dark or darker than the center. But then we're going to add a glow to make this whole thing brighter. It's going to look a lot nicer. Then you decrease the threshold, and then it's basically all evenly spread out, and then decrease the intensity. I'm just going to keep it maybe 0.1, something like that. Maybe 0.2. So it doesn't massively matter. What you want to do is then add the dust particles overlay and change it to overlay. And this is going to get rid of those green background. It's the green stuff in the corners that I didn't really like. And you decrease the opacity to get that nice dark look that Iman had in his videos. This is pretty much exactly what he had. So, but apart from that, it's the particles are moving too fast. So you want to then slow them down to maybe 500. Yeah, 500 will do. And look, there you go. Now you've got that. Then you want to press the T button, and you want to find the font that you want to use for your thing. You could have just downloaded a logo with an already existing lettering next to it. But yeah, here you're going to search up ChatGPT or whatever software you're going to use. And then I'm going to decrease the scale as well, so then it's not too overpowering. Obviously, you can basically use whatever logo you want. It doesn't massively matter. This is just a structure to show you how I would do this. Align the text, or align both the text and the logo, so they're in the middle. You don't want one being higher than the other. Then you want to pre-compose the background elements, so the grid and the screen, and just name it background. This is so that you can then scale, when you scale in, it scales in everything instead of just scaling in the blue screen or just the grid. By the way, it's S to press scale to open up the scale, and then you want to keyframe both the start and end point, and then it zooms out. Then you want to highlight the key points, press F9 and go to the graph editor and move the 2 points closer to each other, the two yellow line things. I think they're called handles. And this will make this nice smooth effect that you can see on screen. Yeah, it looks already way better than it was. Then what you want to do is you want to just move the position, because everything's on the right now. So you want to move that closer to the left, the logo. You want it basically everything to be kind of on the same side. So that's why it's quite useful that we've got grids here. Then you want to keyframe the position on both of them. P to bring up the position, keyframe the position. Then you want to go forward quite a bit, maybe until the background stops zooming in, and then just move those closer together. Move the logo closer to the text, and move the text closer to the logo. Now if you've keyframed it right, they should move closer together. But I've done something wrong. I've made it so that the logo doesn't move far enough and that the text moves too much. So what you want to do is move the logo further away and move the text closer, because that will give it the balanced look that you want. So there you go. Now you have more of a balanced joining. So they're both as far away from the corner as the other one. So it's basically balanced. And then they join together, and yeah, there you go. Look, you can see this joining together. Looks awful right now because I haven't keyframed it. So that's what you want to do. You want to highlight them, press F9, highlight them again, go into the graph editor, and you want to do what you just did for the other one, but this time it will be the right way up. So you want to select one of the lines and move it closer to the middle, the yellow handle thing. Then do the same thing with the other one to form a steep line, and then do the other thing with the other line, or the other value basically. So then they're both basically roughly the same. Doesn't need to be exact, yeah. It's not exactly exact for me, but it doesn't really matter. So this is what we got now. That looks a lot smoother basically. So look, there we go. Then you want to get the shape icon and create a rectangle around the two logo and text. And you don't want a fill and you want a stroke, so you get this outline. It will look a lot better. Just make sure you center it, so and then it's a bit easier. Then trim the thing and go on to shape layer, then trim paths, and this will make it so it's animated. So then go on to contents, trim paths 1, and keyframe the end to 0. That's when you want it to start. And then go forward a bit, maybe a few seconds, and then keyframe the end to 100, and you should have this outline. It goes around. It's quite cool. Then you want to just increase the roundness of the the shapes, and then you should have this nice joining outline. You want to create keyframes for them on the start. Well, basically press F9 again and do exactly what you just did, but this time just make it a bit steeper. Maybe, I don't know. There you go. It's like really smooth. Like, it's nice. Looks quite smooth now. So just play around with it until you get what you want. I mean, that's kind of what I want, like roughly this. There, so you see how it's like slow at the start, then it's really fast, then it's slow again. That creates this smooth, nice look. Then you want to get the pen icon and make a small line at the edge of the box on the right. Make sure it's straight. I don't think mine's fully straight there. But yeah, it's just straight, it's fine. And then make it start where you want it to start, maybe half, just like about maybe a third way into the actual other like line, and add the trim paths effect again. Then you want to keyframe the end at 0 again, go forward, I don't know, like half a second, maybe no, a second or so, and it's like you keyframe the end and keyframe it at 100, and you should have this again. Then you want to highlight them, press F9 and do the exact same thing. There's a lot of graphs in this video, I can't lie. It's a lot of the same like animations. You then just basically adjust it to what you actually want. So, and then it's roughly, I'm just kind of doing what Iman did, because that's the point of this video, to show you what he did. But in your example, just add whatever you want, really. It doesn't exactly matter. Then you want to get the text and then put the text at the end of the line. So it's basically like joining them to the box to the text. I'm going to use the Arial font, and I'm just going to type AI tool. In his video, I think he did like AI generated something, but in my one, I don't want to do the exact same thing as him, just to prove that you can make it slightly different and it will still look good. Scale it down a bit, S to open up scale, and just scale it down to it's just at the edge basically. You want to trim it there whenever you want it to start, to be honest, and press T for opacity, keyframe it at the start, turn it down to 0. Go forward a bit until where you want it to fully show, increase it to 100. Then you should have this fade in effect. Increase it a bit more, so and then it's a bit nice, maybe a bit more. And yeah, it's got this nice fade in effect. It's pretty clean. Then you want to highlight them again and just press F9. Make sure you got everything in the right layers, and then press pre-compose. So what you want to do, you just want to name it like logo animation. Just get everything which was part of the logo animation and pre-compose it basically, and leave out the background. So now you have the logo animation, then you have the background, and then in the middle there's the the particle effect. But basically it's basically to organize everything. And it also means you can now press P to keyframe the position and move it to the left, and everything will move together, as you can see, instead of just individual parts moving. It also just makes things easier to see. And if you keyframe it right, you should have this move to the left thing, where it kind of just like, it's like a swipe or whatever. Press F9, do the same thing with the graphs, and basically move it to the left, and move the same thing with the right, so then you have the same steep line. And then there you go, you should have this. That's basically exactly what happened in the video. That's exactly what he did. So yeah, I'm just following what he did basically. Well, no, there wasn't a tutorial for what he did, but this is what I did, and this is how I recreated it basically. So then yeah, you will just want to make sure that you got the line that you want. I'm just going to adjust it a bit here. Again, it doesn't fully matter. It's just, yeah, I wanted it to be a bit faster and maybe a bit to the left. So there you go, move it a bit to the left. And then, yeah, there you go. I wanted the left swipe to be the same time as the fast movement of the box. So it's like there. That's what he did anyway. So it does look nice, to be fair. And here you go. What you want to do then is basically just make everything look a lot better. So for the AI tools, you want to just move it to the left slightly. So, and then it's like a bit more like in the right position basically, because it was a bit too much to the left before. And there you go, you got everything like coming along nicely and smoothly. It's pretty good. Then you want to search up turbulent displace on the thing, and this is going to give whatever you apply it to this nice pixelated thing that Iman had. And you want to change the amount to 30 and size to 3, and then just add that to pretty much everything you've got. So pretty much, yeah, literally every single thing in this like logo animation bit. So basically change it all to 30 and 3, 30 and 3, 30 and 3. And this will give everything these pixelated look that it basically makes it kind of look like it's underwater in a way. But Iman Gadzhi uses this for literally every single animation its editor uses it for every animation that he has. So yeah, just make sure it gives it this nice like textured look. It's quite clean. Yeah, and then the next thing you want to add is a glow, and this is gonna again make everything just look that bit nicer. Play around with the glow. The glow is quite subjective, and you might want it really glowed or not much. I'm going to change it to 0.7 intensity. Just increase the radius. Now I'll decrease the intensity a bit, and the radius is about 30. Then I'm just going to do 30 again, 0.5, and then just again 30, 0.5. I'll basically add it for all of them until basically everything's got the turbulent displace and everything's got the glow. This is going to make everything look consistent, and it gives it that nice textured glow look that Iman Gadzhi uses in all of his videos. So if you've ever wanted to have the same style that he has, then you definitely want to do this. So again, 30, 0.5, just add that to everything. And there you go, you should have this kind of thing. We're not done yet with the effect, but you should have this like graphic to your text instead of the boringness that it was before. Then you want to press T to bring up opacity and keyframe it at the start at 0%. Then you want to go, do this to the logo animation by the way, then go forward a bit and increase it to 100. And this means that it fades in instead of it's just automatically being there. Then you want to press P on the keyboard and keyframe the position. Then keyframe the position where it is, go forward a bit and move everything up. This is going to give everything the space for the boxes at the bottom. Then you want to press F9. Obviously, it's already F9'd. Go into the graph editor and change it until it's roughly what you want. That I would just want that smooth, nice look. I'm sure you do too. Just make sure it's like that. It looks nice again, but you can kind of just do what you want. I mean, you might want it really steep. You might want it less steep. Whatever, really. I'm not bothered what you want. Then you want to get the shape layer up. Choose the rectangle. Make the fill color white. Then you want to draw a rectangle to whatever size you want. Then you want to press Ctrl D to duplicate it, P on the keyboard to open up position, then move it to the right. Then you want to decrease the opacity to whatever you want, maybe 50, just to give you that see-through look. Same thing with this one, just same thing on both. So you have that consistency. I've got 50 opacity. Then just make sure that both the boxes are roughly equal size by pressing P and going to position. I just use the grids again to work out that they're both in the same position. This one's slightly to the right of the first box. Then what you want to do is you want to then duplicate the shape layer, like the one you've just made, and just rename it like layer 1 outline, or just like whatever, like layer 1, but basically layer 1 outline, because that's what we're going to be creating an outline. So then do shape layer 2 outline as well. Just make sure you've got that organized. It'll make things a lot easier. Then what you want to do is just on basically like the new one you've just made, the outline one, just get rid of the fill and increase the stroke to like 6, and then you should have this outline around the boxes. It makes it look nice. Search up turbulent displace and do the same thing you did with the other ones to this one. So then change it, add it to both of them, and then just change it to 30 and 3. So yeah, 30 and 3, just get that on both the box outlines. Then what you want to do is get the text and add the number onto the box. I'm going to use the Montserrat font. I think it comes with Premiere Pro or After Effects, and just type 1 and change it to something like blue. Get a nice font and change it to maybe light blue. Then what you then want to do is just duplicate it, Control D. Actually, no, you don't. You want to scale it up a bit because that is a bit small. And then just move it over to roughly the center. Use the boxes again for reference. The boxes actually make it really useful for it. So duplicate it with Control D and move it with P over with the position over to the other box. But that it says 1. So then obviously what you want to do is change it to 2. So then you've got box 1 and box 2. Then center that one as well. So and then you've got the same like look on both. Pre-compose box 1 and box 1 outline and rename it box 1 so they're both connected. So then they don't, when you move them, they move together. Do the same thing with box 2 and box 2 outline. Rename. You didn't actually need to rename them in the first place, actually, but yeah, just rename that to box 2, and then you have box 1 and box 2, and then 1 and 2. Then what you want to do is you want to pick whip the 1 to the box 1, and then and so then look, it kind of like moves together. And then pick whip the box 2 to box 2. So then look, when you move it, the text moves with it. It's like tracked onto it basically. Then you want to keyframe the position on both and increase the right one. So and then both the boxes are out of scene, out of shot. And then go forward a bit, keyframe it back to the original amount 540, which it was for me. And then you have this like thing where it basically comes up. Looks quite nice, and it comes up roughly the same time as the ChatGPT thing goes up as well. Then you want to work out the distance between the first and second keyframe and do the same. Basically just make sure that they are basically both the keyframes on box 1 and box 2 are evenly spaced out. And then you want to press F9 by highlighting them, or press F9 and then do exactly what we've just done with the other ones with this one. So then yeah, so just move the thing on the left, like the handle on the left closer to the middle, and do the same with the other side. So you've got this steeper line, this bump thing, spike or whatever it's called. And then do the same with the other one. So and then you've got they're roughly the same size. It doesn't really matter. And then you should have this where it's boom, boom. So yeah, you can make them further or closer to apart, but I quite like that. I'm going to move them to the left a bit though, so it's closer. Boom, boom. Looks nice, maybe a bit more left, only so it looks nice. There we go. This is just nitpicking at this point. This is just me trying to perfect it a bit more. But yeah, this is the whole thing so far. One of the last things you want to do is just search up gradient ramp in the effects panel and drop it onto your text, like the number 1 and 2. It will turn it grey, so what you want to do to fix that is turn the blend with original to about 70%, could be a bit less, could be a bit more, and change the gradient points so and then they look a bit like this. So you've got that nice blue gradient. Then you copy the actual gradient ramp and you paste it onto the other number, so you've got the same on both sides. So it should look a bit like this. Only got a couple, like 1 or 2 more things I need to do. So what I need to do is go on to box 1 outline, open up the contents, then the rectangle 1, then you go onto rectangle path 1 and you change the roundness to whatever you think it looks good at. This is what Iman Gadzhi pretty much does in every single one of his like graphics. He'll do this sort of roundness. I'll make it about 65. Then I'll do the same to the box 1. Do it on both, or one of them will be round and the other one will still be square. But make sure you do it with on both box 1 and box 2. So do that with box 1 and then do it with box 2. So then do box 2 outline rectangle path 1, round 65, do the same thing with box 2 outline as well. Open up contents, then rectangle 1, rectangle path 1, round 65 again. So make sure you've got the same. And now it should be round just like this. You might want to play around with a few things like I'm going to do here. Just make the box maybe take a bit longer to like fully fade in, which gives it that nice smooth look. So it still slightly moves at the end. Just adjust it so, and then it basically fits whatever you want it to look like. And this is what you should have at the end. It does actually look really nice, to be fair. So yeah, you should be done there. If you're a content creator looking to grow and scale your business while also saving a massive amount of time, check out my website through the top link in the description.